We are Baltimore. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. This afternoon from Citi Field in New York. The Cardinals looking to take 3 of 4. The St. Louis Cardinals and the New York Mets on Fox Sports Midwest. And today the Cardinals get a boost to their rotation. The veteran left-hander returns. That's Jaime Garcia, his season debut here in 2015. And with Tim McCarver, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us here on your home of the Cardinals, Fox Sports Midwest. And in many ways, this is a very big start for Jaime Garcia, but certainly for the Cardinals, too.
How big a start are the first 4 or 5 starts by Jaime? Well, in my opinion, I have nothing to back this up. But his health and effectiveness could determine whether the St. Louis Cardinals make a blockbuster deal before the trading deadline. That's how important his first 4 or 5 starts will be.
We're looking forward to it. Jaime Garcia, it's his season debut. The bats have come alive the last 2 nights. Does it carry over to game number 4? We're about to find out. .29 hits. Where they've done the damage with runners in scoring position, 11 for 26. The offense has come alive. As a matter of fact, the Cardinals are first in the National League in team average at 271. Matt Carpenter in the lineup today. So is Johnny Peralta. The Cards, the Mets. Day baseball comes your way next. 18 runs, 29 hits. Where they've done the damage with runners in scoring position, 11 for 26. The offense has come alive. As a matter of fact, the Cardinals are first in the National League in team average at 271. Matt Carpenter in the lineup today. So is Johnny Peralta. The Cards, the Mets. Day baseball comes your way next. West is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealers for great prices on our all-new 2015 vehicles today. Cool afternoon, not nearly as windy as it was last night here at Citi Field in New York. Pat Paris is here, along with Tim McCarver. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And the Cardinals trying to make it 3 of 4 against the Mets. Colton Wong will lead things off for Mike Matheny's club, followed by Matt Carpenter and then Johnny Peralta. Matt Adams bats cleanup. Randall Grichuk has had quite a series. Jason Hayward, Mark Reynolds, Tony Cruz, and the pitcher batting ninth, season debut for Jaime Garcia. He's a good one, the reigning Rookie of the Year in the National League, Jacob deGrom.
8 starts. He's 6'4", 180 pounds, and a lot of hitters in the National League talk about what great extension he has.
First pitch, a strike to Colton Wong. When you say extension, describe that for the fans at home.
Extension is reach. Guy's 6'4". He's tall and thin. Got great baseball muscles, long biceps. All a pitcher needs is 1 or 2 inches out in front where another guy doesn't have it. And that could throw a hitter's timing on. The ball's on top of you quicker than it normally would be.
1-2 the count on Colton Wong. That last pitch at 97 from deGrom. And a strikeout of Colton Wong, and that's how we start the afternoon. Hyundai pitch arsenal for deGrom, a fastball, slider, curve, and changeup.
Breaking balls are works in progress. Fastball, changeup primarily. And there's such a disparity between the fastball and the changeup. Gets hitters out in front with that change.
Here's Matt Carpenter, leads the club in RBIs with 24. The Cardinals actually have 4 players that are hitting above 300. 2 of them not in the lineup today. Carpenter at .313 with 7 home runs. Matt told us during spring training that he wanted to be more aggressive early in counts, hit for a little bit more power, and he certainly has done that this year.
Boy.
Slugging percentage is something to look at, which is total bases divided by at bats. His slugging percentage is .583, so it's a look at power. And Tim, excuse me, I was thinking of Jim Hayes.
It's James Timothy, so that you were right on the money.
But his jump in slugging percentage is incredible. It's over 200 points in the improvement from a year ago.
Most of that as a leadoff hitter.
Slap the other way. And I know Jim Hayes is smiling because of that.
You never called Jim Hayes Tim.
I didn't. I called him a lot of other things.
Yes, you have.
Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense for Terry Collins' club today, with Kadire in left, Lagares in center. Mayberry gets the start in right. Campbell, Flores, Murphy, and Duda along the infield. Plawecki is behind the plate. Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense. 11th double last night in the first inning for Johnny Peralta. Peralta has been shifted all over this lineup, and where some guys are creatures of habit, they want to be in a similar spot day after day. Peralta, it doesn't matter. He's batted cleanup 5th, 6th, and today he's 3rd.
Cardinals have 2 hitters like that. You could do that with Matt Carpenter, 1 through 5, even 6. And certainly you could do that with Peralta, probably 2 through 6.
Falls behind 0-2. Jacob deGrom, a 25-year-old 9th round pick from Stetson University, which is located in Central Florida.
I know the exit right in St. Pete, near where the Cardinals used to be housed in spring training. The Outrigger Inn, which is now a Holiday Inn. Stetson University, about 3 miles from there.
Corey Kluber went to Stetson.
Yeah, how about that? A Cy Young Award winner and a Rookie of the Year.
Just missed inside. 2-2.
Dan, you looked it up before the game. Chipper Jones, Larry Chipper Jones, father was the assistant baseball coach at Stetson University for 6 years.
Yeah,
right?
1994 to 2000. Matter of fact, Chipper does a huge fundraiser, 2-day event, where all the proceeds, 100%, goes to the baseball program at Stetson University.
Most of Chipper Jones' at-bats were in Shea Stadium as a member of the Braves. As a matter of fact, he named his youngest child Shea. So Shea Jones, named after his popularity at Shea.
Popularity. He's one of the great villains that ever came through Shea Stadium.
Man, Larry.
He always seemed to rise to the occasion, too, against the Mets.
I'll say future Hall of Famer.
First overall pick back in 1990. Shortstop at the time. Played outfield, third base, primarily in the major leagues. 2-2 pitch. On the outside corner. Strikeout of Peralta.
You know, Mike Shannon used to have a saying on pitches like this: if you can't hit it, you might as well take it.
Is that a Yogiism too?
No, that was a Mike Shannonism.
Shannonism.
Yeah. But nobody's going to hit that pitch.
No. Matt Adams was saying before the game that he had gotten so uptight with his at-bats. It was leading him to be what we thought yesterday, last week, in his at-bats, just guessing. Behind on the fastball, not recognizing breaking balls. And he said it was a boost to his confidence to see his name in the 4th spot in the lineup. And Mike Matheny was saying, hey, we believe in him. This is the guy that we think can hit for power, can be a cleanup man in this lineup for the Cardinals.
Yeah, the hitters refer to that as the pendulum. You're caught in between.
0-2 pitch.
Boy, this guy, I'm telling you, First time I've seen him, Dan, he's impressive.
I don't remember him throwing this hard.
I don't either. Of course, from seeing him on television, first time I've seen him in person.
Made a start against the Cardinals last year in St. Louis, roughed him up a bit.
But you can see what we're talking about that extension. The ball's on top of hitters before they're ready for it.
Mets talk about his long stride as well.
Yeah.
Strikes out the side here in the first inning. Tim, Jim, wherever you may be, we hope you're enjoying baseball this afternoon. Years. Season debut here in 2015, finishing up his warm-up tosses. This is the lineup that he'll face. Lagares, Flores, and Duda in the first, then Kadire, the cleanup man, Daniel Murphy, John Mayberry Jr., Campbell, Plawecki, and the pitcher Jacob deGrom.
It's been 11 months since Jaime has been out on the mound. Last June 20th was his last start for the Cardinals.
I don't think you can overstate what you brought up in the open. This is so important for him, clearly, to be healthy and go out there every fifth day. But for the club as a whole, too, with the loss of Wainwright, his return, it's even more important to be out there every fifth day.
Yeah, and it's not right to say that today is the only start, you know, where he will be judged. But the first 4, 5, maybe 6 starts through the end of June, if he's healthy and effective.
Juan Lagares moves to the leadoff spot. He's batted 9th in a couple of games when they put the pitcher 8th. He's hitting .273 this year. We both were a little surprised to see Tony Cruz get the start today and not Yadier Molina.
Especially when Yadi had 3 innings off last night, with the Mets firmly ahead 9-0. Maybe Mike Matheny thinking, well, rest him for that Kansas City series coming up. The speed on that ball club.
3-1. And it's a leadoff walk. Hyundai pitch arsenal. This is a look at the career numbers for Jaime Garcia. The fastball, slider, curve, and changeup.
Obviously, none of which are important unless you throw strikes. First 4 out of 5 out of the strike zone.
I wonder how aggressive Terry Collins will be with Molina in the dugout, Cruz behind the plate, and his team struggling offensively. Fastball and a strike to Wilmer Flores.
Usually it's not good policy to run if the first hitter walks, because a lot of times you help a pitcher out in that regard. You get a runner thrown out, and that gets him back into the strike zone. So if he's wild, don't run.
Ruben Tejada was the everyday shortstop this time last year for the Mets. Now it's Flores who leads their club in home runs with 6. 15 RBIs, with 11 of those, Tim, at home, and 10 of the 11 coming on home runs. One ball, one strike. The Cardinals can take 3 of 4. This would be a very good series win, facing the type of pitching the Mets present the opposition throughout this season.
Normally a hit and run count, 2 balls and a strike. But Garcia having a tough time finding the strike zone. I think you're less inclined to run in this situation. Don't do for a pitcher what he can't do for himself.
Two and two. Historically, Garcia much better at Busch Stadium. Matter of fact, his winning percentage is among the best in the 10 years of the ballpark. That's at home. Road, a much different story. But he's just happy to be back out on the mound, wherever it may be.
Dan, I'm surprised more major league pitchers aren't like that, because when they pitch from their own mound, they have myriad starts from their own mound. But when they pitch on the road, you're pitching from a different pitching mound all the time. So it would make sense that the Mets young pitchers are the team is 16-6 in this ballpark, pitching from their own mound.
Lagares, the runner at first base. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count on Wilmer Flores.
Matter of fact, a lot of pitchers will have the ground crew model their mound for each guy the way they want to. Of course, the mound 10 inches high, you can't change the height of it, but you can change the slope, the landing area. Adam Wainwright, as an example, has a much longer stride than a guy like Jaime Garcia.
Two, a ground ball to third. What a turn again by Colton Wong. 5-4-3 on the double play.
I was thinking the same thing. Totally different from the way he pivoted the double play in last night's game, coming across the bag, but using the bag for protection on that ground ball.
Cardinals defense. Reynolds, Grichuk, Hayward in the outfield. Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Adams on the infield, and here's the turn.
Wong spreading the feet, throwing the ball flat-footed to first base. Nice.
He's got a strong arm. You can see that.
Yes. Strong arm for that position. Normally, second basemen have the poorest throwing arm in the infield, except for first baseman.
Lucas Duda. So you see the turn by Wong. And again, not coming across the bag, but the quick transition out of the glove.
And using the bag for protection.
1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kevin Long is the hitting coach with the Mets. He was with the Yankees for a while and has taken on a personal project like Curtis Granderson, helping Curtis get off to a good start, but also helping Lucas Duda in particular against left-handed pitching, where he struggled a year ago, and he's been much better this year.
Last year the shoulder was flying out. This year the intent, says Kevin Long, is to keep the shoulder in there against left-hander. That is the best way to hit him. And that's the best way to pitch guys who keep their front shoulder inside.
Kevin Long telling us he likens Duda to Paul O'Neill former Yankee, when he came to New York, could not hit lefties, and then gradually got better. They worked on a toe tap and a timing mechanism. And it's not the same as what Paul O'Neill did.
No,
but
of course not.
They believe Duda, though, is getting back to the point where he can hit left-handed pitching.
Yeah, you get the idea. Paul O'Neill, a warrior across town for many, many years with the Yankees.
The shift on here for Duda. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Garcia is not going to wow you with velocity. He will wow you, though, with movement.
Finger grip pressure. Very important.
And a strikeout of Duda. So a scoreless frame for Jaime Garcia in his return to the big leagues. Duda didn't like that call one bit. After 1, no score on Fox Sports Midwest. And Reynolds due up.
I thought you were going to say, all right, Tim.
No. I'm back on the straight and narrow on this. I know who I'm working with now. I'm good.
Day game after night game. It's only normal.
What an odd series this has been, by the way, for Randal Grichuk. 5 strikeouts in game 1. And now he's the first since 1914 to follow that up the next day with the 3 extra base hits. He's also made more history because he had back-to-back games with a double and a triple. First to do that since Red Schoendienst back in 1954.
Rojo.
That's incredible.
Numero 2.
You got it. And one of our favorites.
Oh, man. What a sweetheart. Never misses a Cardinal game. In person, at home, on the air, on the road.
The 2-1 pitch taken high. You notice how Grichuk is laying the bat in his stance, which is much different the way that he approached with his stance a year ago. By design, obviously.
As long as there's not too much to do before the pitch gets there. You know, with a guy like DeGrom throwing as hard as he does, you don't have much time. That's why hitting's so difficult. But on the other hand, it doesn't matter how a hitter starts out. It's where he is when that ball's about 12 feet from home. And all good hitters are in that hitting position. that 18 inches in the hitting zone. That's why waiting and having quick hands are the two elements of hitting in the big leagues.
2-2 pitch. Grichuk, quick bat. He's made 2 diving catches in this series in center field. Had a sliding catch in left last night. A plus arm. A lot of upside. 2-2 is a foul ball. No argument from Jose Oquendo. Doug Eddings, the third base umpire this afternoon. Four strikeouts for Jacob deGrom. We turn to Tim McCarver's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, this is really brilliant. Keep on keeping on. No kidding. Scored 10 runs 2 nights ago, 9 last night. Took a lot of thought for that key to the game.
You were up all night thinking about that.
Well, half the night.
Half the night. Didn't get good sleep thinking about it. What am I going to say for my Toyota keys to the game? Here's Jason Hayward. Popped up. Foul territory. deGrom sliding for it. Nobody comes up with it.
And the Mets fortunate no one is hurt in that collision of 3. A tripod in foul territory. Look at deGrom. Watch. Ooh. Lucky. See the left leg bending back like that. Good athlete, we know, but the Mets fortunate he wasn't hurt there.
Jason Hayward with a home run last night is 4th. No balls and 2 strikes. Cardinals have outscored the Mets 19-2 in the last 2 games. It's the first time the Mets have had 8 or more scored on them at home since 1984 back-to-back games. Surprisingly enough, one of those starts in '84, Dwight Gooden.
He won 16 that year. He was 16-9 for the Mets. And then the next year he had one of the great years in the history of pitching. 24-4 with a 1.53 earned run average.
Have you had anybody that you've watched remind you of a Bob Gibson? Was, Dwight Gooden in that category of at least?
No.
Think about it.
Dwight Gooden was fastball curveball, and Bob Gibson was fastball slider. But Bob Gibson had the greatest late action on his pitches of anybody by far that I ever caught. I had 197 opportunities to catch Bob. And one of the reasons for his success, I used to know what was coming and couldn't catch the ball cleanly. And I didn't figure it out until much later that if I can't catch the ball cleanly off Gibson, then how is a hitter supposed to hit the ball cleanly in predicting where to hit the ball? Now, not all the time. There were some left-handers that handled Bob well. One of them was Ron Fairley of the Dodgers and Montreal. But there weren't many. Billy Williams had 10 career home runs against Bob. So there were a few that read him properly, but obviously not many, and almost none in 1968.
1.12. There's a strikeout of Hayward. deGrom looks sharp here early on. That's 5 strikeouts.
Were these pitches befuddling Cardinal hitters, and they would befuddle any team with the stuff he's thrown up there through the first 6 batters.
Reynolds 3 for 6 with a long home run in game 2. Pair runs scored. Reynolds in left field today. Holiday is on the bench. There's strike 1.
Dan talked about the stride of DeGrom. That also allows him to get that extension we talked about earlier. Extended stride leads to an extended way of releasing the ball 1 or 2 inches out in front, more than most pitchers.
Broken bat, slowly hit to short. Wilmer Flores. Jacob deGrom has struck out 5 so far. Midway through 2, and there's no score. Dan McLaughlin, we say good afternoon to Pat Paris.
Good afternoon, Dan. You had a chance to talk with Jaime Garcia this week, as I did, and we both were struck by the fact that he was very humbled by what he's gone through over the last 11 months. He was excited about the start, but very respectful and thankful to the Cardinals for allowing him to come back from this injury and give him this opportunity. He was going to try to take the most of this opportunity and take most advantage of it, and he fully expects to go out there today, put on a nice performance, and then get better and better as the starts go on. And he wants to hold on to this 5th spot from now to the end of the season.
And Patty talked about velocity as well. It's back.
And the velocity's back. And as you mentioned earlier to Tim about the movement and the late movement, sometimes you marvel at how much it moves, and maybe the fact that when he's out of the zone, it's probably because he didn't know that it was going to go that way. I remember a couple of years ago talking to Cal Eldred, our friend who used to work for us here at Fox Sports Midwest and now is in the Cardinal organization helping the young pitchers in the minor leagues. He talked about just playing catch with Jaime Garcia. It was amazing how much movement there was. You know, just 40 feet away, you're playing catch and the ball broke a lot. And Tim, I'm sure you respect the fact that that ball can move that much.
And most left-handers can't throw the ball straight. That's one of the advantages they have when you sign a left-handed pitcher.
They just have movement, natural movement.
Right, that right-handers don't. Right-handers have to create movement. We talked about finger pressure. That's an example of how they can create some movement.
Pitch taken low by Michael Kadire. Daniel Murphy on deck, and then John Mayberry Jr.
It's a complicated game, Dan.
Oh, it is.
It really is. One of the beauties and the subtleties of the game.
Second walk issued by Garcia. T-Mobile game changer. Among National League starters, Jaime Garcia. Pretty good list with Greinke, Kershaw, Wainwright, Lynn, and Jaime. Highest winning percentage, minimum 75 games started. Greinke might be better this year than Kershaw.
Oh, I think so far he has been.
So leadoff walk. Here's Daniel Murphy.
8 days the Dodgers come to St. Louis next Friday.
Cardinals will open up a lengthy homestand. 3 different teams coming to town. Then the next road trip will be in LA. Also a visit to Colorado. It's a different looking Dodgers team with no Hanley Ramirez and some of the others that have gone on to different teams. D. Gordon was traded. Off to a terrific start with Miami.
Oh my gosh, hitting over 400.
Leading the league in hits, and there's that late break. It froze Daniel Murphy's second strikeout for Jaime Garcia, Missouri Lottery Foxtrots.
Now, it might have gone around the plate, but Garcia will take it.
John Mayberry Jr. Game-winning hit on Monday night here at Citi Field. The free agent acquisition. Last year hit .213 with Philadelphia, then traded to Toronto. Hit .208 with the Blue Jays. The idea was that they wanted to get power off the bench, in particular against left-handed pitching. And his numbers against lefties in his career jump off the paper. Very good numbers.
Hit his first home run in the major leagues as his first hit in the major leagues off a left-hander. Andy Pettit across town, May 23rd, 2009. He's got power on mistakes from left-handers.
Big man. His dad played in the big leagues. Hitting just .135. 1-0 pitch. Runner goes. Dyer had a very good jump off Garcia.
I think a lot of fans think that anytime a guy hits a home run, it's a mistake. That's not necessarily true. But there are more home runs hit off mistakes than there are good pitchers. Used to be the saying, well, if it's that good a pitch, why'd they go that far? The pitcher would come in and say, it was a good pitch, wasn't it? And you got to be bluntly honest. No, it wasn't.
You'd be on the receiving end of many of those conversations.
Yes.
But Tim, I thought that was down and in. Good pit. Well,
it was down and in. That's why it went that far. Where do you think golf tees are? Down.
The 1-1. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Cardinals come into play 27-13. The Mets, after a great start, they're 23-18. And New York actually is a game back of Washington, the hottest team right now in baseball. Runner goes again, and that's driven into left center field. Grichuk, why not? Do it again. Another diving catch. Fires to first. Oh, what a double play. Grichuk to Adams. The double play. Remarkable by Rando Grichuk.
That's one of the, that may be reviewed, but I'll tell you, that's one of the greatest plays with the catch and the double play, the wherewithal to get up and throw to first base. Might be the best play I've ever seen an outfielder make. How can you do it any better? That was just an immediate rhetorical response.
Man, that's a good play.
And I've seen better throws. But catch and throw, I've never seen anything better than that. I mean, how can you be better than that? Kadire on the hit and run, rounded the bag, saying, no way can he get to that ball and then throw me out. Well, he did. I thought Matt Adams was off the bag in a review by Terry Collins, but nope, he was on the bag. Unbelievable play by Grichuk.
And on the other end, nice stretch, too, by Adams.
Absolutely.
So that's 3 diving catches by Grichuk in center field in this series alone. Remember, late last night in left field, he had a sliding catch. Tremendous. DeGrom fields and throws. Another look at Randal Grichuk in center field.
He got up so quickly.
I'll tell you what would have been the greatest play from an outfielder, maybe ever, was 2006, Andy Chavez on a ball hit by Scott Rowland when he went over the wall in the National League Championship Series to make it just, the catch was ridiculous. And then the presence of mind to throw to first base and double up Jim Edmonds. That was a remarkable play.
I tell you the truth, I had forgotten that he made the throw. The catch was so tremendous, but I yield to that. You're right. That was better than the play Grichuk just made. And the fact that it was so important in the postseason made it doubly great.
If the Mets win that postseason, it goes down as one of the greatest postseason plays in the history of baseball, and now it's kind of an afterthought because they didn't win.
Not here. They had a Andy Chavez bobblehead day because of that.
Oh, when you get a bobblehead, then that legitimizes it.
Well, it does. In this day and age, it does.
Well, that's true. This day and age, for sure.
You were slightly tacky there. You realize
just a little bit. Cardinals with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball, in-game highlights, live look-ins, and more. MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. Just
slight. It's okay, though. I like it.
Well, Jacob deGrom, first time through the lineup, allows 1 hit, and that was to Matt Carpenter, who's on deck, and he struck out 5. Two outs, nobody on, and Colton Wong looks at a strike. You and I do not like pitch counts. We agree that it should be something that isn't looked at as closely as it is, but it's part of the game. And
absolutely.
You see DeGrom with 5 strikeouts, and yet his pitch count is near 50. You're talking about a 6-inning start.
Well, you do have to have more pitches when you strike guys out. Now it's my turn to be tacky.
I can't believe this guy. Annual induction process that gives you a voice in honoring the team's greatest players. We'll induct this group in August. Ted Simmons, Kurt Flood, Bob Forsch, George Kissel. And my partner today, Tim McCarver, has stories that could go on and on about all four. He played with some of them. Obviously,
caught Bob
Kissel.
Forsch's first start in Cincinnati, lost 2-1 in 1974.
I think anytime we talk base running during these games, and I hear you explain the game, and you look at it in a different way than a lot of people, and I mean that as a compliment, but I think that's the George Kissel influence.
Trained so well. We were talking about it, and I didn't tell you anything about it. My suggestion, not that it's earth-shattering or anything like that, but my suggestion to major league teams to prevent the poor base running that is endemic in baseball today. It's getting worse, too. I think baseball should borrow a page from football and have skull sessions about base running, because you can't practice base running. You can't come out early and say, all right, guys, we're going to practice base running. So you have to do it from a mental standpoint. You can't do it physically, like extra hitting, extra fielding, ground balls, stuff like that. So you have classrooms for only the base runners, and you explain situations. First and third, nobody out. What do you do if you're the runner on third base on a ground ball back to the pitcher, for instance? That provokes thought. And when you provoke thought, not to do it that often, maybe 15 minutes a week, with a different base running problem to solve. You bring in all base runners, slow base runners, fast base runners.
I'll tell you why it makes sense, because what you're saying is addressed through drills and spring training, and then after that,
dropped, gone.
Not talked about, not worked on for 6 months.
Pitchers covering first, stuff like that. Trip around the bases where the base running instructor will tell the regulars, and then it stops.
And those situations will be talked about in season when a runner makes a mistake,
yes.
And then he comes in the dugout.
So, ergo, why not do it before they make the mistakes?
No, I think it makes sense.
To perhaps prevent a mistake. Just a thought. I mean, and just a suggestion.
Almost like your refresher course, if you will.
Yeah, right.
Walk to Campbell. Kevin Plawicki is at the plate. Garcia has walked the first man each inning, but a double play has helped him out. We had Jim Edmonds on the telecast. I guess it's been about 3 weeks. And he mentioned how you move from pitch to pitch in positioning and what he would do in center field. Grichuk has done that. He was at straight up center field. Now that it's 0-2, he's moved towards right center.
Why is that? Because when you're 0-2, you're more of a defensive hitter and inclined to hit the ball the other way.
Left center this time, but Grichuk is back, and he makes the catch.
And the height of the ball allows you to recover when you're in right center field.
Brings in Jacob deGrom. Now deGrom has hits in his last 4 at-bats, one shy of the Mets record of 5 straight. Jerry Koosman did that in 1974.
He's a good hitter because he was a shortstop and third baseman his freshman and sophomore year at Stetson University. Became a pitcher, a reliever at that, his junior year.
A short lead at first by Campbell. Carpenter way in the grass at third base, anticipating the bunt. deGrom squares, pulls back and takes a ball.
There are two ways to bunt. You square around or you bunt out of a hitter's stance. Style has DeGrom bunting out of a hitter's stance. He doesn't square around. By squaring around, you bring the left foot out, and both feet are pointed toward the pitcher, not DeGrom.
Bunts it towards first base, taken there by Adams. He'll tag out DeGrom. Campbell advancing from first to second. Fox Sports Live will get you caught up on NHL and NBA playoff action and tonight's Major League Baseball games. You can see Fox Sports Live tonight on Fox Sports 1 or see it simulcast right here on Fox Sports Midwest. First sacrifice for DeGrom. Here's Juan Lagares. He himself a former shortstop. Made the transition to center field. He was drafted as a shortstop. And Tim, he committed 40 errors in 2007. And they said, that's it. We've got to find a different position for you. And it's a position that's obviously worked out. He's a Gold Glover.
It's a lot easier going from an infield position to an outfield position because the ball's not on top of you as quickly. Ball's in the outfield, you have a chance to assimilate your thought. For instance, the Grichuk catch. More of a routine play, but he was playing in right center. The ball hit a little in the left center.
2-0 is hit too short. Johnny Peralta with it. Mets strand a runner. We have played 3. The season debut for Jaime Garcia. No score as we move to the 4th. Saturday, June 13th, walk home with a Cardinals pet leash. Compliments of Nestle Purina. They're available to 25,000 pet lovers ages 16 and older. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Here's Carpenter as the only hit for St. Louis. A base hit to left. That was in the first inning. DeGrom has struck out 6. Those birds are positioned down the right field line, part of the shift.
Those 3 birds all together reminded me of that bunt play the other night with Daniel Murphy coming in.
The bunt shift?
Yeah, the bunt shift. Runners on at first and second, or at first and third. And Walker with the bunt down the first base line, fielded, and nobody covered first. Walker had an infield hit.
There is no explanation as to why Daniel Murphy was charging on that play.
No.
Speaking of Murphy, he backhands it here and takes a hit away from Carpenter. Jacob deGrom, Rookie of the Year. And the first since Dwight Gooden back in 1984. He beat out Billy Hamilton of the Reds and also Colton Wong, a distant third for the Cardinals.
Dan, you notice 4 of the 5 Rookies of the Year for the Mets pitchers. This organization, we talked about it last night, they've always prided themselves on drafting pitchers from their inception. I mean, here's a team that won a World Series 7 years after their inception in 1969.
The Miracle Mets. And a miracle in Game 6 of 1986 to get to Game 7 against Boston. The Bill Buckner play. Here's an 0-2. Well, Jacob deGrom actually started last year in the minor leagues. Went 9-6, 2.69 ERA, and he was at AAA Las Vegas for roughly 3 to 4 weeks and then was called up. Cardinals do not face Noah Syndergaard, obviously, in this series, and he's a hard-throwing rookie.
Won his first major league game on Sunday.
Matt Harvey was sensational on Monday night.
8 shutout innings.
He's fun to watch.
Oh boy, I'll say.
2-2.
Unless you're a hitter.
Yeah.
Having to face it. Small d, capital G. Unusual spelling of Jacob's last name.
2-2 pitch. And Peralta strikes out. No, he just got a piece. So he's still in there, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Normally a home plate umpire will give you the bare hand over the fingers. Didn't happen with Adrian Johnson.
Mentioned the Mets, a game back of Washington. The Nationals back on April 28th, not that long ago. They were 8 games back of the Mets. Nationals have gone 17-4 in their last 21. 7 strikeouts for deGrom.
Notice how quickly he's working. When pitchers work quickly, they give the defense, particularly their infielders, a chance to be ready on ground balls. Plus, when you work quickly, that means you want to deliver the ball as quickly as possible. And from a mental standpoint, it means you have more confidence than a guy who will walk around the mound and think about things, take his time delivering the ball.
We had a game last year. You and I did it in Tampa. Eric Bedard, the slowest worker.
I remember that game.
It's painful.
And a mind like a steel trap, partner. You just had that. Nice going.
He's tough to watch.
There's the bunt shift again.
Yep. They're anticipating it. The 0-2. That's pulled foul by Matt Adams. Just everything flows so much better in a game when a pitcher works at a quicker pace.
All the good ones do.
Adams jammed a bit, pops it up. Backing up Wilmer Flores. Battling the birds and then puts it away. deGrom is sharp early on. Midway through 4, no score. to Kansas City and the St. Louis Kansas City rivalry to a new level. The I-70 barbecue showdown. Two of the top pit masters in the state will square off, and we'll have it for you on Cardinals Live tomorrow at 6:30. Jaime Garcia. Fourth inning, Wilmer Flores, Lucas Duda, and Michael Kadire.
One of the best barbecue cities in the country. St. Louis, Kansas City, Memphis.
I just read an article in, I think it was USA Today, that St. Louis had two of the top 10 barbecue places in the country. Cruz out to visit. Garcia walked the first he has seen in each of the 3 innings he's been in so far today. 2-0 the count.
Usually that spells trouble. So far, not for Garcia.
Talking about DeGrom and the pace that he pitches at. Garcia, when right, also pitches at a quick pace. Ground ball. He let it go to Peralta. He makes the play. Rob Manfred is the new commissioner of baseball and overseeing the owners' meetings. First time ever for him here in New York. One of the things that they're talking about, two major issues. One, the schedule. Does it need to be cut back? That's something they've talked about. You cut back the schedule to 154, that means you cut into revenues potentially. But the other thing in terms of what is happening between the white lines, the strike zone, and trying to get offense better. You know, offense now has come way down with PEDs eliminated from the game.
Yes. I think that's the #1 concern in baseball.
Offense.
Yes. Not the pace of the game or any of that stuff.
Two 2-0 the count on Duda. So do you change the strike zone? Do you move it up? Which is something that's been talked about as time is called and granted.
I told you about that meeting with George Will. George Will's thinking is that you expand the strike zone. That hitters would be more inclined to swing at more balls out of the strike zone. I'm not sure I agree with that. That's as opposed to shrinking the strike zone and making it tougher for pitchers to get corner pitches, stuff like that. You know, you almost need a whole new crop of umpires to do that too. These guys are, umpires are human beings. They're used to certain strike zones.
See, that's where I think they've had the biggest issue.
And over the course of a year, I mean, you're going to give them a winter to change their feel for strikes, their feel for balls. It's not that easy.
No. 3-2. That to me would be the biggest issue.
I think as a result of that, you'd have many more arguments, many more ejections. Pace of the play would be longer, perhaps.
3-2. And it missed inside. Duda just held up. Fourth walk issued by Garcia. Brings in Michael Kadire. Walked and then was erased on the base pass thanks to Randall Grichuk with a great double play in center field. Cardinals have turned 2 double plays today. Ground ball pulled foul. Kadire turned down a 1-year deal from the Rockies for roughly $15 million, signed for 2 years, 21 to come to New York.
Having seen the young pitching here, and better chance to get in the postseason play.
0-1 pitch. Center again. Grichuk won't get to that one. Base hit to Dyer off the end of the bat, and it brings in Daniel Murphy. I thought we had another diving play in our hands.
It was close. Can't be everywhere, but how many times do you see outfielders barehand the ball on one hop? Grichuk playing a very confident outfield, whether left or center. I've got to believe Randall thinks he can make any play within reach, and his reach is expanded.
There's Daniel Murphy. The odd-looking swing from Murphy. That late movement from Garcia.
Watch. That's a fastball swing and a curveball.
Oh, 1 pitch. Now 0-2.
Odds are about 6-1, the way I see it. Daniel Murphy, if he puts the ball in play, it's going to be to left field. Lefty against lefty. Left-handers are more inclined to hit the ball the other way. But Murphy, particularly with 2 strikes, likes to go the other way against left-handed pitching.
0-2 pitch. Goes the other way. Base hit. Drops in. Bases will be loaded for the Mets.
That was a good pitch by Jaime Garcia. Fastball in, a little off the plate. Better hitting by Daniel Murphy. Just muscled it to left.
The Chevy Fox tracks, now bases loaded. John Mayberry Jr. It was his liner that was caught by Grichuk and turned into a double play. That was back in the 2nd inning. Keep an eye on the pitch count with Garcia. Coming back from injury, you're probably looking at around 90 to 100 pitches today. At 63 this far. Becomes a very important at-bat in this game. When you think about the bases loaded, 1 out, that's obvious, but then you couple the fact that DeGrom looks as good as anybody we've seen this year.
Yes.
1 run may be enough. Pulled foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, infielders, even though the Cardinals are in double play depth, they do have the option, if the ball is hit slowly to the corners, not to the middle infielders, but slowly, for instance, to a Matt Carpenter. He has the option to come home. You got to think about those things before they happen. Ground ball hit hard, you go for 2. Ground ball you come in on, go to home.
Ground ball, Carpenter underneath the glove, and a run will score. RBI for Mayberry. 3 consecutive singles to follow the walk here in the 4th inning. And here comes Derek Lilliquist.
Matt Carpenter diving. The Mets are going to score a run anyway on a ball hit like that. Because even if Carpenter makes the play, it's going to be tough to get Mayberry at first or the force at second. Breaks of the game. Broken bat by Murphy. Ball that landed close enough to Randall Grichuk. in center field to make a barehanded play, and then a little triple through. Hey, seen it happen to the Cardinals, and you'll see it happen as long as this game is played.
Here's Eric Campbell, and I'm sure that's part of the conversation with Derek Lilliquist with Garcia, because his past has shown you at times things can unravel in a hurry. He gets frustrated at little things like that. It's a great point. Campbell walked his first time up. Garcia's walked 4 today. There's your double play ball. Out at second, the turn by Wong. Cardinals have turned 3 double plays behind Garcia in 4 innings. Mets strike first, 1-0 as we head to the 5th. Reynolds coming up. Arcia in the driver's seat. Randall Grichuk. What an interesting series he's had with the strikeouts, the extra base hits, and then the defense. Grichuk this year with 9 hits, and 8 have been extra base hits from Randall. To give you an idea of just how good Jacob deGrom has been here at home, now this is in the last 50 years. deGrom, Mark Fidrich, and Hideo Nomo have ERAs under 2 in their first 100 innings at home. That's it in the last 50 years.
Man.
I mean, that's saying something.
Mark Fidrich in 76.
Hideo Nomo
in 95 when he won the Rookie of the Year
with the Dodgers.
Yeah. Finishing second that year, Chipper Jones.
The strikeout is number 8 for deGrom. I realized he was good, but I didn't know he was this good.
Well, as I said earlier, my first time seeing him, and very, very impressive.
Jason Hayward, one out here in the top of 5, and he looks at a strike. Just demeanor, velocity. As you talked about, his length, the pace,
his confidence.
So 8 strikeouts. Hayward struck out back in the second looking. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jason with a home run last night, up to 4, 12 RBIs. I mean, even right there, if you're going to miss, he's just missing. And a ground ball that's hit to first, pulled to Lucas Duda.
An example of how hitters see actions, reactions of pitchers. Juan Marichal, one of the great right-handers, a Hall of Famer, obviously, one of the great right-handers in the history of the game, used to run to the mound from the dugout. And it ran through my mind more than once. Why is he running to the mound? And the reason? He wants to hurry up and get you out. There's no other reason.
It's confidence.
That exudes confidence.
In the air to right off the bat of Mark Reynolds. John Mayberry Jr. puts it away. DeGrom has allowed 1 base hit so far. He has struck out 8. That hit was back in the first. 1-0 midway through 5. ...1985 National League Championship team on Memorial Day. That's this upcoming Monday. 25,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a wearable replica of the 1985 championship ring, courtesy of Ameren, Missouri. Cardinals and the Diamondbacks on Monday. Tickets still available at cardinals.com/promotions. Jaime Garcia. The issue has been today, at times, a lack of control. He's walked 4, but the Cardinals have turned 3 double plays behind him.
Yeah, the first base runner of every inning has been a walk.
In the air, left field, Reynolds back with room up against the wall and makes the catch. Kevin Plawecki is retired, and it brings in Jacob DeGrom, who, by the way, is set down 14 straight. 14 in a row for DeGrom.
Dan, I will bet you that Mark Reynolds had thoughts of Milwaukee going back on that ball. when he crashed into the wall twice making catches, right? In the 8th inning.
Same inning. And the next day, we were back home at Busch Stadium, and they put up a taped version with a wig, the yellow floppy wig, up against the wall, thanks to Matt Holliday. Couple of hops and hit 2, Colton Wong. 2 down. Well, you get a bench player. Obviously, you want him to produce. Reynolds has done that. In particular, provided some pop. But they also have to be able to fit in with a veteran club, which the Cardinals, for the most part, have. And he's done that.
Oh, he's always going to do that. Very respected in the clubhouse. And he's more than a bench player. He's not a regular, but he's more than a bench player.
Yeah. He's getting more playing time than a quote-unquote bench player.
He started in right field. He started in left field, of course, at first base against an American League team as a DH. He could play third.
Cardinals really were missing an element of a threat off the bench the last couple of years.
Yeah, first two months, Mark Reynolds has done very, very well.
Two 2-0 on Juan Lagares, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. And when he hits him, Mark Reynolds, he hits him. He's a dream for a play-by-play guy. There's no guessing.
It might be. There could be.
None of that.
Yes. Sounded like Will Ferrell then.
The Will Ferrell, Harry Carey. It's hilarious.
On a program honoring David Letterman about 2 weeks ago. Will Ferrell as Harry Carey. Hilarious.
Did you watch the finale last night?
I watched half of it. I know you watched all of it, but I had to go to sleep.
It was great.
It was very warm and tender and well done. What a career. Over 6,000 shows.
It's 5 walks now for Garcia. There's a sports tie-in too with David Letterman. He always had sports figures on. Peyton Manning was there to read part of the top 10 list for David Letterman last night.
Peyton's message was, David is to comedy what I am to comedy.
It's good. 2 outs, runner at first. They picked him off. Lagares tagged out. Well, anytime that Garcia walks a man, he's able to erase him either with a double play or in this case he picked him off. We head to the 6th and it's 1-0 Mets. Cardinals rotation is done. It's been really good for the better part of the 2015 campaign, and today it's Jaime Garcia's turn in the rotation. So far, 5 innings and 11 months. That's how long it's been since we last saw him in a major league game, regular season. So far, so good. Here's Tony Cruz. With that pickoff play, he may have bought himself another inning. You don't know if the inning unfolds with a couple of hits or another walk. With Garcia due up second, it could have been it for him. Instead, he hits for himself following the pickoff, and it'll be Cruz, Garcia, and Colton Wong. Jacob deGrom has set down 14 in a row. He has struck out 8. The last base runner was a base hit by Matt Carpenter, the second hitter in the game. Into center field, Lagares makes the catch. 15 in a row.
Positioning more important for outfielders because, think about it, they have more room to cover. And Lagares is cheating in, and it served him well as he makes the play. That ball falls in front of some center fielders in the National League. Not the Gold Glover.
Mets talk about his jumps too, Tim. Positioning and jumps. They say his jumps are second to none. But Garcia can swing the bat a little bit. He grounded out to short first time up, 0 for 1. Pretty nasty, huh?
Best breaking ball of the day for deGrom.
No balls, 2 strikes. The check swing did not go. Again, a 9th round pick out of Stetson University. Jacob deGrom. Boy, baseball's a funny game where sometimes it does, in this particular sport, take a while for a player to develop. You know, or maybe change a position.
First 2 years as an infielder.
You don't see that in other sports as much as you do in baseball.
That's true.
Not nearly as much. That's 9 strikeouts now. You know, Juan Lagares goes from a shortstop to a Gold Glove center fielder and finds a home in the big leagues. Colton Wong 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts.
See, if I were deGrom right now, I'd stay away from the inside part of the plate to Wong. Wong could tie it with one swing of the bat.
Chops it to second, taken there by Murphy. 17 in a row. Jacob deGrom. Midway through 6. Mets by a run. left fielder for the Kansas City Royals. Watch this play. Smashing into the wall. He is such a terrific defensive player. Today, we've seen Randall Grichuk start a double play with this diving catch in center field. Leads us to our Budweiser What's on Tap. We'll see the Kansas City Royals tomorrow night. Lance Lynn 3-3. Chris Young is 3-0 with a .94 ERA. The Cardinals, the Royals, the I-70 series tomorrow. Tim, I went back and looked at the Royals since August of last season. If you include the postseason, they are 34 games above 500. They are on some kind of roll.
They've gone from a team that thought they could win to a team that knows they can win. Big difference.
Wilmer Flores on a 2-0 pitch pops it up. Peralta is there. You know, we were talking about guys that switch positions, and we saw Alex Gordon there. Remember, he was a first-round pick and a third baseman, and then goes to left field and becomes a Gold Glover and one of the best defensive players in the game right now.
We talked about Lagares going from shortstop to center field. Alex Gordon from third to left. Both Gold Glovers in different leagues.
Yeah. That's where baseball, to me, it's just a funny game how that works out. That's not funny for Garcia. That's a bomb. Lucas Duda makes it 2-0 Mets. Fourth home run. And he scored the 2 runs today for the Mets. 2-0 New York.
Lucas Duda going up there, looking fastball inside. He got it and did something with it.
The improvement against left-handed pitching. Much improved. There's Michael Kadire. 2-0 Mets here in the bottom of the 6th. That's hit hard into center field. And you wonder if that'll get the bullpen rolling for St. Louis. Villanueva takes off the jacket. He'll start to throw. Where would the Cardinals be without his contributions this year? He has saved them time and again with those short starts at times. Carlos can give you 3 or 4 innings. Seeing your bullpen.
You can make a case that Villanueva's innings have been the most important innings out of the bullpen this year.
Agreed. 0-1 pitch to Daniel Murphy. Pulled foul. Behind Garcia today, the Cardinals have turned 3 double plays. If you're just joining us, he has struck out 2, walked 5, and allowed 5 base hits.
Say you're Daniel Murphy. Garcia came inside the last 0-2 pitch. I don't think he'll do it again. I think he'll go the breaking ball away.
And a double play ball. Wong, Peralta, double play. 4-6-3. So 4 double plays turned behind Jaime Garcia. Lucas Duda launching his 4th home run, 16th RBI. And with that swing, 2-0 Mets. 2-0 Mets. In the story today, the pitching of Jacob deGrom. 17 in a row he has set down. The only base runner, the only hit for the Cardinals was Matt Carpenter back in the first inning. On the bench today for the Cardinals, Molina, Holiday, Borges, and Cosmo. Good pitching ahead in the count. Here he is, no balls and 2 strikes. 16 of 21 first pitch strikes.
Pitching ahead in the count, and he's doubled up. Not only strike 1, strike 2. A lot of 0-2 counts today. When you work with the count 0-2 as your base, you've done pretty well.
0-2, and then you have this kind of stuff that he's got. He's been hitting mid to high 90s. Good breaking ball, the 1-2. I mean this as a sincere question. You're Mike Matheny. You're this team that comes in hitting 271. What do you do right now when you've got 1 hit in the game?
Keep hacking.
I mean, is there an approach you change with the
keep
ground?
hacking. Keep hacking.
10 strikeouts. Jacob deGrom. Next time you're looking for great seats, get to StubHub, where there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right, on StubHub, the price you see is the price you pay. Plus, with the StubHub app, you can buy and sell Cardinal tickets anytime, anywhere. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals.
Strike 1 again.
Here's the 0-1. It's sharply to short, knocked down by Flores with plenty of time. Makes the play. 2 outs. Cardinals had a similar game to this that they eventually won against Trevor Bauer in the Cleveland Indians, but deGrom is sailing right now. 19 in a row.
That's probably the hardest hit ball of the day.
Yep.
For the Cardinals. Ball had a little curl on it, like a low drive off the tee. But corralled by Flores.
Strike 1 again.
He's thrown only strikes this inning. 6 in a row. 7 in a row.
I know you believe in it, but great job on that announcer jinx right there. That was your jinx, led to that ball.
Yeah.
The 1-1 hit out of play. You think in the last couple of weeks the Cardinals have faced Kluber, Bauer, David Price, Matt Harvey, Jacob deGrom. It's a tough league.
It's a handful of aces right there.
1-2 pitch.
Yeah, you win a lot of money at the poker table over the last week. The pitchers against whom the Cardinals started.
Strikeout number 11. 20 straight set down by Jacob deGrom. Time to stretch. 2-0 Mets.
a double switch. The pitcher spot, Jaime Garcia would be up 5th in the 8th inning. So in case he gets into trouble, obviously he's out there for the 7th inning, which is a real plus for the Cardinals. Even though Jaime trails 2-0, he has pitched very, very well.
If you would have told the Cardinals he's going to pitch into the 7th, he would have taken that in a heartbeat.
No, yeah.
One ball, one strike on John Mayberry Jr. Eric Campbell to follow, then Kevin Plawecki. Even with the walks, pitch count only at 90 for Garcia.
And getting check swings from a guy like Mayberry in the 7th inning.
It's telling you good movement.
I don't care what the score is. This is a very positive day for the St. Louis Cardinals.
One-two pitch. And again, check swing, late movement, strikeout, number 3 for Jaime Garcia.
Well, that's exactly what check swings are. It means late movement. You get a guy like Mayberry, even though he's batting only 135 coming in, but a guy who drove in the winning run on Monday night.
Reminder that the Cardinals did not hit a home run during the Gateway Honda home run inning. They'll be back at it tomorrow. It'll be in the 7th. Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Eric Campbell was walked and then grounded into a 5-4-3 double play. Plawecki is on deck, and then you'd have DeGrom. Activity in the Mets bullpen. And a fly ball lifted into right center. Hayward is back near the wall, and he's got it on the track. Here's your DraftKings Players to Watch update. Just head to DraftKings.com, enter promo code CARDS, the highest batting average on the road. Danny Echeverria, Brandon Phillips, Steve Gordon, Johnny Peralta, who is hitless today. Another check swing.
3rd in the inning.
Plawecki 0 for 2. He's flied to center and flied to left. Cardinals will have Grichuk, Hayward, and Reynolds due up. And DeGrom is at the on-deck circle. If you're Terry Collins and you get a runner on, do you pinch hit for DeGrom?
Well, in this day and age, who knows? I mean, Matt Harvey pitches brilliantly for 8 innings on Monday night. Reliever comes in, coughs up a run. Mets won the game in 14, but at least the Cardinals tied it in the 9th. You ask any of the Cardinals right now, they'd tell you, make a move. Get DeGrom out of there. Please pinch hit for him. Not that you'd walk Plawecki intentionally to get to DeGrom.
The thought did cross my mind.
I know it's a weird thought.
But you can understand why.
I'll tell you, when you're inclined to do something like that, that's another thing against pitch counts.
The 2-2.
Yeah, even when you can whimsically entertain a thought like that, means something's wrong. And when we say that, we mean something wrong with the thought, not all pitch counts, but for a pitch count, meaning that all pitch counts are the same, meaning that all pitchers are the same. It's ludicrous. DeGrom could pitch 20 innings today. That's how good he's been. That was a close pitch by Garcia.
Fox Tracks presented by Plaza Tire Service. And the 3-2 pitch. Backing up just a bit. Peralta fields it on the short hop and makes the play. We head to the 8th. He has set down 20 straight and struck out 11. DeGrom back to work when we come back. Go to our studio. Jim Hayes standing by with a Bomberito Sports Update. Jimmy. Mazda game summary. Jaime Garcia, 7 innings here today. Just 2 runs allowed. Matt Carpenter has the lone hit for the Cardinals. Jacob deGrom, 11 strikeouts in the midst of 20 straight he has set down, and Lucas Duda a home run.
A lone single by Matt Carpenter, the only base runner. That was the second hitter of the game. Only base runner of the game for the Cardinals.
deGrom does not have a complete game at this level, as that's grounded sharply to third. 1 pitch, 1 away. We were talking between innings. You wouldn't think if Terry Collins has the bullpen up and ready to go, potentially to pinch hit for deGrom last inning, it just gives you the idea that maybe he wouldn't get the complete game today. He's at 100 pitches now, 100 even.
Well, to elaborate on that, on the pitch count, it's as though general managers and assistant general managers force a manager to say that all pitchers are the same, that pitch counts affect everybody the same, and it's ludicrous. It's ridiculous. I told you the other night, Tom Seaver told me his pitch count, 135 pitches.
It's amazing.
Jerry Kuzman, 145.
Hayward with a fly ball into right for out number 2.
Nolan Ryan, 155. Their pitching coach, Rube Walker, and these were pretty good major league pitchers, I would say. Who didn't bow out. I mean, early. Tom Seaver won over 300 games, for crying out loud.
Tim, you also have to look at the pitcher and how they're going through the day. And it's not like deGrom has been taxed in this game. This has been free
not
and
exerted
easy.
anything.
No. Now Mark Reynolds with 2 outs. I asked Terry Collins in spring training about the Johan Santana no-hitter. And before I get the full question out, he said yes. And the question was it the hardest game for him to manage because of pitch counts? He said yes.
Well, this isn't.
Cardinals may have made that decision easier for DeGrom to come back out in the ninth. 5 pitches in the top of the 8th. By Budweiser. Still brewed the hard way, this Bud's for you. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Final time, we're in New York as we wrap it up. Bottom of the 8th rolls in. Hyundai pitch arsenal, or Chevy called to the pen for Mitch Harris. Great article done by Bob Nightingale in USA Today. Front page of the sports page of the national newspaper on Mitch Harris. Everywhere we go, there's a feature story written about Mitch, and this time it goes to the entire country thanks to Bob Nightingale. It's a wonderful story.
Yes, it is.
Talk about it all the time, but it is a great story. 13th round in 2008. Chevy called to the bullpen. Mitch Harris. And look who's at the plate. Curtis Granderson pinch hitting for Jacob deGrom.
It's ridiculous.
I thought after a 5-pitch inning, it sealed it. He'd come out and at least start the inning.
It's more ridiculous than it was on Monday night when Matt Harvey came out of the game of a scoreless game. And then the Cardinals tied it in the 9th inning. It went 14. The Mets won the game. It was almost like an inadvertent win. I'm sure Matt Harvey was thrilled with that.
The Cardinals tied the game up on Familia in the 9th, and he's getting set for the 9th inning here today.
And believe me, it's not Terry Collins' fault. It's upstairs. Upstairs. The dugout does not rule the game anymore. Does with some teams.
Crowd today, 32,783. 32783.
It's almost like for DeGrom to pitch a complete game, you'd have to be like 45 pitches after 8 innings.
And a leadoff walk by Harris. Fox Sports Midwest joining up with Cardinals Care to benefit reviving baseball in the inner cities. You can help too by golfing in the Ted Savage RBI Golf Classic. That's June 9th at Forest Park. Cardinals alumni join with golfers on the course, and foursomes are available but going quickly. Details right now, cardinals.com/RBI Golf.
One more comment, and I'll be through with this pitch count. But show me where the evidence is. Where is the evidence that after 105 pitches, a pitcher's arm falls off or his pitch count. I mean, I'm obviously being as ludicrous as pitch counts when I say that. But show me a study that's been done. There is none. Medical people are guessing.
Here's Juan Lagares. The one thing about the other night with Matt Harvey, and again, I'm not saying I agree with it in taking him out. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Is that they're saying, all right, he's coming back from Tommy John. We're going to treat him with kid gloves. DeGrom had Tommy John too, but that was years ago.
2011.
And it just, again, it's free and easy today, and it didn't seem very hard for him to get through 8 innings, to say the least.
One base runner.
On the flip side of this game, the Cardinals get 7 innings from Jaime Garcia.
I would welcome a doctor in the booth as the third or the second analyst with us to explain to us without evidence why they make these suggestions to organizations.
0-1 pitch.
Wouldn't you?
The only problem with that, you're going to get
different opinions.
So many different opinions.
Keep bringing them in. Keep them up.
Just line them up outside.
Okay. Line them up. Let them all have a say.
Ooh, up and in. Blazatire Fox tracks. This one almost caught Lagares. Now Cruz out to visit. Maybe to calm down Mitch Harris. And the Cardinals drafted Mitch Harris. They did have some information on the inside. John Abamondi was an assistant to John Mozeliak as Randy Choate was getting loose, and he had served 9 years as a flight officer at 40 combat missions over Iraq. It was really pulling the club in the direction of Mitch Harris's way. Now they're glad they did it. 3-1, but he's got to throw strikes.
Walking Granderson and now falling behind Lagares.
Double play ball. Wong spinning to Peralta, who lost it.
Johnny came across the bag and landed on his right foot instead of his left foot. And because of that, he was going to try to hurry his throw and bobbled it. See, he lands on the right foot, and throws are made when you set your feet. And Johnny couldn't set his feet, tried to hurry the throw, and a force out.
The Cardinals were looking to turn their 5th double play in this game. Wilmer Flores hit into a 5-4-3 double play in the first, grounded out to short, and also popped out to short. Mitch Harris is a mid-90s fastball. He's got a cutter, and he also throws the split finger pitch.
That was it. It appeared that was it on the first pitch to Flores. Might have been a slider.
Up the middle and a base hit into center field. Well, you have Duda coming in. Randy Choate is loose. You would think that would be the matchup. The Chevy call. St. Louis's two favorite destinations for one great price. Ticket to Six Flags and also a ticket to a Cardinals home game. Cardinals.com/Six Flags. So Randy Choate in to face Lucas Duda. Duda 0 for 3 against Choate in his career. Pair of walks, 2 strikeouts. Duda walked and scored in the 4th, solo home run in the 6th. Duda again, deep right center, and this ball is gone. 3-run homer off of Randy Choate. Lucas Duda, the damage against lefties this year.
Once again, fastball inside to Duda. Just like he did in his last at bat. Looking for that fastball, got it, home run. 4 RBIs and 2 at bats. Almost in the same spot against Jaime Garcia. Up and on the inside part against Randy Choate. Down a little more, but on the inside part. 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and 2 at bats. Has lengthened the Met lead.
Kadire with a base hit into right off of Seth Maness. If Seth Maness is okay. He was bent over after that base hit, stretching. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Trying to take deep breaths. Yeah, you wonder sometimes throwing a pitch like that with that much violence in the delivery. Rib cage pull, or who knows.
2-0. Daniel Murphy at the plate. Mets picked up a run in the 4th, a run in the 6th, 3 here in the 8th. They've out hit the Cardinals 8-1.
Mets could have Familia sit. Not a safe situation anymore. Two, base hit into left. Well, you talked about it, Tim. He goes so well the other way.
He's a good two-strike hitter, and that's the reason. Protects the outside part of the plate. Smart hitter. Pitch up from Manus. Murphy, his second hit to left field this afternoon. Both with 2 strikes.
So 1 out, runners at first and second. John Mayberry Jr. He got it all started for the Mets back in the 4th with an RBI base hit. Lined into a double play and has also struck out. And again, Manus falling behind. 2 balls, no strikes. Two and 1. This is already the 22nd appearance in 40 games for Seth Manus. Leads the club in that category. Cardinals have 5 relievers with 19 or more appearances this year.
Remember that stretch of games last year where Seth Manus didn't pitch a lot, and because of that he got his fastballs up. Sinker ball pitchers need to pitch more than other pitchers because a lot of times with fatigue that doesn't allow them to be too strong and keep the ball down. Not that low, however.
Manus has come in, allowed 2 base hits and now a walk. And that's about as frustrated as you'll see him get. He's not one to show much emotion out there. Here's Eric Campbell, who's walked, grounded into a double play, and also flied out to right. Average hovering around 200, and there's strike 1.
Yeah, the thing about Seth, though, as opposed to other pitchers in the National League, he's always a ground ball away from getting out of an inning.
And a double play away.
Yeah.
One of the best at inducing double plays in all of baseball. And a foul ball.
Tell you, that was close to Campbell being hit in fair territory.
That's what Cruz was pleading that case.
I think he is. Obviously, if the ball comes off the bat in fair territory and the runner runs and it hits him, that was very close to being a fair ball. And an out for interference.
1-2 the count. That walk issued by Manus, his first he's given up this year. On the inside corner and a strikeout.
Campbell thought the ball was inside, but it's Manus who has been squeezed in the inning, not Campbell. It looked like Campbell had a good point.
Kevin Plawecki hitless today. Grounded to short, fly to center, and also flied out to left. Bases loaded for the Mets, trying to extend their 5-run lead. Well, if the Cardinals do not come back in this game, you take away the start of Jaime Garcia.
No question about it.
Get him every 5th day, and the fortunes of the franchise for 2015, they change dramatically.
Yeah, each organization in the major leagues has their own particular problems, but from a Cardinal standpoint, if they could bunch some healthy and effective outings by Jaime Garcia, getting to the postseason goes dramatically higher.
The trickle-down effect of innings that he provides.
7 today.
2-2 the count. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 5-0 Mets. And Manus gets out of the jam. So bases loaded, 1 out. And back-to-back strikeouts. No more damage done against Manus and the Cardinals. Homer game for Lucas Duda. One of the stories today. And the other, the pitching of Jacob deGrom. And look at that, Corey Kluber just 8 days ago, what he did against St. Louis, and Jacob deGrom here this afternoon.
Dominant both.
It's the only hit of the day for the Cardinals. Back in the first inning, second hitter of the afternoon, and a base hit by Matt Carpenter to left. After that, deGrom with 23 straight that he set down. There are many that believe, Tim, as you've seen, that you get your closer up, he's coming in regardless of the score. So
yeah,
he started throwing at 2-0, now 5-0 non-save situation, and Familia is in. Our Chevy call to the pen.
Yeah, obviously he's the closer for the Mets. We'll get back to Trevor Rosenthal again. He threw one pitch in this series. And unless the Cardinals can come back with a major rally, that'll be the only pitch he throws in a 4-game series.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Tony Cruz. 2-0.
Almost have to take here, don't you?
Yeah. Down by 5. Familia came in and had the blown save in the Harvey game in game 1 of this series. The sac fly RBI by Jason Hayward. 2-1. Ground ball to second. Murphy retires Cruz. Our thanks to the great Bob Anderson, who's been just such a remarkable help the last 4 days here in the booth.
His usual stalwart self.
Peter Borges will be the pinch hitter. Then we'll see Colton Wong. 1 away here in the top of the 9th. After the game today, it's off to Kansas City, back in the Midwest. Looking forward to the series beginning tomorrow. 2 of the best teams in the league, Royals and Cardinals.
Royals with a 2.5-game lead over Detroit coming into today's action. Detroit winning in Houston.
Cardinals a 4.5-game lead over the Chicago Cubs. How about Houston? 27-14.
My gosh.
Two down. Jacob deGrom is our Budweiser player of the game. No surprise there. 8 innings, 1 hit, 11 strikeouts.
Wonder if it's the best game of his life. Probably.
Can't think of many better than he's thrown looking back at his day by day from last year, what he's done this year. That's his impressive performance we've seen. Now, Kluber was probably the best we've seen so far this year. I thought Harvey was magnificent game 1 here. deGrom was right there with him, though.
Yes, sir.
Two and 0. Colton Wong in the leadoff spot today for the Cardinals, 0 for 3. It's now 24 straight the Cardinals have been set down. 24. Two and 1. Mets thought Mejia would be their closer this year. He's serving a suspension. Familia is filled in and filled in nicely. St. Louis down to their final strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wong with a base hit, the second this afternoon for the Cardinals. So 2 hits. The Cardinals have not drawn a walk. They've struck out 12 times.
Yeah, Colton Wong telling Kevin Plawecki, the catcher, whoa, baby, not yet.
Extends the afternoon to Matt Carpenter. A single to left, grounded out to second base, and struck out back in the 7th. Fielder's indifference for Colt Wong. He takes the bag at second. Oh, and 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Wong, the first runner for the Cardinals to reach second base today. Game ends with a strikeout and a split in this series. 5-0 the final, as DeGrom was magnificent here in Game 4.
Cardinals with 18 strikeouts in Game 1, 13 today, but in between scored 19 runs.
Mets and Cardinals split the 4 games. It's off to the post-game show. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. All the highlights and the look ahead to the night games coming up with Jim and Hungo.